We're back. It's Jay, Melissa, and Juliana. We just got back from Disney on Wednesday night, and we are home. It is Saturday afternoon. We're bored. We're cold. And it's just, definitely some Disney withdrawal is happening for sure. But what I wanted to make a video about is the pros and the cons of staying on and off property. So I'm just going to start with like my little list that I made, and then I'll go into it a little bit more. But so for on property versus off property, my first thing for on property as a con is it's more expensive. And for off property, obviously, it can be less expensive. For on property, you're immersed in Disney. You're living there, you're staying there, and it's all Disney the whole time. For off-property, what we realized in our experience is we actually spent more time in the parks each day that we were there, just because we weren't thrilled to go back to our off-property location. We were there to spend time in Disney parks. So we actually spent more time in the parks on this quick 5-day trip that we took in March. We spent more time in the parks than we did back in November when we were staying on property, which is interesting. But it's because we kind of felt like we needed to make the most of it. And, you don't want to go back and then get in another Uber and go back again. So we definitely were fully committed from 8 o'clock in the morning. You get in your Uber and you get to Disney and you're there until, whatever time you finally throw in the towel. And for us, it was usually anywhere between 8 and even 11 p.m. on some nights. So definitely on the off property for a plus is you spend more time in the parks, kind of by default. So on property, a pro is it's just convenient. You're right there. Everything is there. You also get extra magic hours if you're staying on property. And that was something that I didn't even really think about until we were there on an Epcot night. And we had friends that were staying on property, and they were going to go and do some rides. And I started realizing that they were able to go until 11 p.m. Because extra magic hours started from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. And I was like, oh wait, we were walking out to the area where they were, and I realized, oh, you know what, we don't have that ability. We don't have extra magic hours. So you definitely want to take advantage of extra magic hours if you're staying on property, because it basically means everybody else who's not staying in a Disney hotel has to leave the parks at that time. And you get to stay and do all the popular rides without having all those other people there. So the lines are shorter, the wait times are shorter. You get more done. It's just kind of a nice perk. Another plus for staying on property is the 60-day pre-planning your fast passes. You get to start doing it 60 days in advance. And then the same with your dining reservations. You get to start booking your dining reservations 180 days in advance. Now, going back to my list of off-property, our off-property experience, we were still able to use all of Disney transportation, and we were still able to go to whatever Disney resort restaurants that we wanted to go to. We just didn't have way in advance dining reservations for them. But we were able to make a reservation about 3 or 4 days before we left. We were able to make a reservation at a restaurant that we wanted to go to. And we did luck out one night in Epcot. We were tired. We kind of felt we're totally we're never going to get in, anywhere. We'll never get a table. But we got lucky. We walked into Via Napoli in the Italy Pavilion and walked in, and I said, we're a party of 3. And she said, it'll be 10 to 20 minutes. And we were like, oh my God, we, kind of never expected to hear that. We thought we were going to be turned away. So, but they sat us and we were done within an hour, and, it was great. So don't be afraid to walk into a restaurant as a walk-in, is I guess what I'm going to say. I think Disney must have at least a few tables that they sort of leave free for walk-ins, and if they don't, they should. we just got lucky, or maybe that's just, wasn't a popular restaurant that night. Um, However, I will tell you, it is amazing pizza. How much do we like Via Napoli pizza? Really good. It's all about the crust. It's all about the dough and the water that they figured out the chemistry of the water in Italy, and they bring in special water and flour from Italy to make the crust, and so it's really good. um, so off property versus on property. One of the things that I will tell you about our experience is it might not have just been the off and on property as much as, on this March experience for us. It was just Jay and Juliana and I, where our previous trip we had other family members with us, and we had 3 sit-down dining reservations per day. So our time was, a little more like you had to kind of be at certain things at certain times. And in November, like, that worked. It was great. We were very, very full. We ate a lot of food, and it was all delicious, and it was a wonderful experience. But on this trip, we just did quick service. We ate when we wanted to. We didn't have any commitments. We were able to just go and do whatever we wanted to do. And for Disney to be able to kind of fly by the seat of your pants and do whatever you want to do, I think for us the reason why that worked is because we were pretty well informed about where things were, and we really know the Disney app on our phones. We know it really well, and we know how to find out what for restaurants, what might have an opening right now. So get to know your Disney app, get to know the parks, get to know transportation systems, maps, study those before you go. Don't show up and not have those things kind of already figured out. Don't think that you can just show up at Disney and you're going to have a great time just because you spent the money to be there. You will be very disappointed. You will have a bad time. You will be frustrated and tired and hating Disney within your first 4 hours if you don't know enough about it before you arrive. Do your research. Figure out how it works before you go. Keep watching my videos. I'll help you learn. But it's definitely one of those places where you don't want to just show up and not know what you're doing. You need to have a plan. It's a large property. There's so much going on. And no, it's not just right there. And no, it's not just easy. You do need to wake up early and take advantage of, if you want to do the most popular rides, get up out of bed. The early bird gets the worm. Get out of bed, get to the park when it's opening, and try to knock out 1 or 2 of their more popular rides, and try to get all of your ride experience, your attraction experiences, try to get those done. In the earlier part of the day before it gets really hot, or if you're there in the summer before it starts raining, because it rains every day there in the summertime. They say around 3 p.m. every day it rains in the summer. So try to get your, most important attractions done earlier in the day. And then, if it's hot, and your kids want to swim, they want to go back to the hotel. They want to. That's what they want to do. They want to go swimming. They've walked, they're tired, they want to cool off. So if you get those rides done in the morning, then you get to take them back to their pool or their hotel pool, or take them to the water park for a few hours. And then you still have time to get to dinner. That's what happened for us anyway. We only have 1 child, so I understand that, for people that have multiple children, it's definitely a different experience. But we were able to make it work, so it's doable. Planning is the key, though. Know what you're getting yourself into before you go. So that's it for the pluses and the minuses. Uber, we were there from a Friday at 5 p.m. until a Wednesday at 5 p.m. And our total bill for Uber services was $270 for all 6 days. We had the most expensive ride was from the Orlando airport to our off-property resort. And that's only because the city regulates the Uber driving, and you have to take the most exclusive, most expensive type of an Uber from the airport if you're getting picked up at the airport. But for any other ride, like if you're going from your resort to the airport, you can get the cheap Uber, like, you know, your typical like Honda Accord or Toyota Corolla or Honda Civic, that kind of thing. But an Uber Black or an Uber Select is usually like, you know, like a nice leather seats, black Lincoln or Cadillac or, you know, whatever you want to. And they have car seats in them. And so if you want to use Uber, it's a pretty easy app to use. You just download Uber onto your phone, and then it gives you options of what type of Uber car you actually want. So you just kind of keep swiping across your phone at the bottom of the screen, and it's like, do you want an Uber regular, an Uber Select, an Uber Black? It just depends on how big your party is, whether you have kids that need car seats. So it's all really simple. The app is really, it's an easy to use app, and it's great. So yeah, 6 days, $270. I think Jay and I figured out that was like what, like $40 a day roughly, Jay? Yeah, like $40 a day. 46. So, you know, and that's pretty reasonable when you think about it. Like if we had rented a car, you know, it probably would have been a lot more than that. And then we also had to deal with parking it, returning it. No, this was easy. This was so easy. So Uber all the way. If you're staying off property, or even when you're on property, if you just want to get from one park to another park, you don't want to wait for a bus, and you don't want to wait for, you know, them loading on all the people like with their scooters and you know, the wheelchair stuff and the strollers. You know, sometimes that can take like an extra 10 minutes. And if you've got an impatient family or a kid that's about to melt down, or you're just over it, Uber is the way to go. They have specific locations at every park where they pick you up, which is right behind the taxi stand. So you just call your Uber. It takes them like no more than 3 to 5 minutes. I think we never waited more than 5 minutes for an Uber driver to show up. They are literally there before you even know it. Like you request it and they're there waiting for you. And if you need a couple extra minutes, if your kid had to go to the bathroom, no big deal. The Uber driver is going to sit there and wait for you. And you can text your Uber driver and say, like, we'll be right out. So it's not like they're going to leave if you don't get out to them on time or whatever. So, yeah, it works well. It's good stuff. Uber all the way for on or off property. Another thing I will say is having a Disney gift card in your wallet if you're staying off property. Have Disney gift cards ready to go. It's a little bit easier since you don't have your Magic Band like linked with a credit card. Have a gift card in your pocket or your wallet to use for your kids' junky, you know, they want to buy their souvenirs, their Disney stuff. I'm not supposed to call it Disney junk. I'm supposed to call it Disney merchandise. It's Disney merchandise. But you know, all the junk that you have to bring home. Overpriced. Stop it. We're not supposed to say that. Disney will never give me a job. So yeah, you definitely should have a gift card, a Disney gift card. You can get them anywhere. Have one of those on you. And if you have more than one kid, make sure you have at least $200 on that gift card because you're going to burn through it in 2 seconds in any gift shop. And set a limit for them. Like, here's your gift card, and when it's gone, you're done. You're not allowed to have any more souvenirs the whole time you're here. For Juliana, we said you get one a day. You get one souvenir per day, and when you use it, and actually one day she used 2 souvenirs in a day, and so the next day she didn't get anything. So, one thing per day. I think you can get away with like a $20 to $23 thing each day. So, play around that. Ice creams, balloons, ridiculous. A balloon on Main Street costs $18, right? Does that inside a balloon thing? It was like $18, right? Wasn't it? That we did that in November. Yeah, so the balloons are expensive. So have a little bit of cash on you, not much. Now, I would say never carry more than $30 cash on you if you are staying on property and you're using Magic Bands. You probably won't ever need more than $30 cash on you. If you are staying off property and you have to have cash in like your own debit cards or whatever on you, I would say make sure you have $80 cash on you at all times, just for certain situations where they don't take a card. Cameras. I can talk about cameras in another video, but I'm learning that I'm not doing a great job with my video footage. I don't know what's wrong. I think I need to get a new iPhone. This is a 6S, and I think maybe it's time for me to upgrade to something better because my videos were all really fuzzy. My signal was bad, like, the whole time I was there. So, anyway. All right. I'm going to end this. Look at it, edit it. You learn a lot about yourself when you're watching yourself on video, like time to get your eyebrows done, get your hair cut. But anyway, all right. Bye. Have a magical day.